not a subject matter expert. Having said that, I do handle the social part of water in my company, and I will try to attempt to use that lens, which would be slightly different on climate change. And when I say that, I would like to begin that I'm trying to be a climate change ambassador. And how do I attempt to do that? So let's take, and this is a global presentation which said, in a climate ambassador, you have to be an innovator, an expert, a leader, a change agent, and a value creator. So that means an innovator being the one who has a strong business case for action. Expert, of course, there are a lot of experts here who are understanding the key opportunity areas. And everything is linked to the 2020 vision. So that's about leadership, and I will come to that. And of course, a change agent is about how you engage the supply chain and suppliers. And of course, about the value creator part, which is about creating business and sustainability value. So let me look at first the Vision 2020, which is about an innovator. And this is how Coca-Cola globally and in India has gone about doing it. So first and foremost, we are a hydration company. So we look at water efficiency, which is, we have made targets from a 2010 base globally that we will reduce 25% of the water consumption by recycling, reusing, and many other programs. And I'll give you one specific program which we launched in India, which is a test case. The second part is, whatever you do, whatever water you use, you better replenish it. And that's something I will give you another case study on that. And the third part is, how do we get linked to agriculture? Because we use fruits, juices, mangoes, sugar, etc. So how can we help in making sustainable sourcing and whatever agriculture ingredients we use, how do we go on the backlinkage? So work has started on all fronts, and I'm happy to say, that's will be in my next slides. But coming back to how do you embrace the climate change? And as a hydration company, safe and clean water is just not business priority, but good for communities that surround us well. So if you look at water assessment, that is where we begin. Whether you need to put up a plant there or not, you need to have that risk assessment done before you put that plant. We have to understand the micro, which is about source water protection. And then, once you have done the macro and micro, you go in the proofing part, which is the water replenishment initiatives. And this, whether I have a plant in north, east, south, 60 plants, all that is worked with a hydrogeologist who's a part of the company. Now, let's look at the leadership. My global chairman is a Turkish gentleman, Muhtar Kent. He personally drives sustainability across the global system, across 206 countries where we operate. And it's not him. He has a chief sustainability officer who leads the charge, reports to him directly, and reports on a daily basis. In fact, we have an annual sustainability report. And I just presented Dave our India sustainability report for 2012, where we are measured against the matrices. And then we look at the priorities, and then a framework on what we call the me-we world. What I would just like to say, the 3 Ws are very critical in the me-we world sustainability framework, which is about job opportunities and entrepreneurship with women, water, and well-being. These are our 3 Ws on priorities globally. Now let's look at the water resource mapping methodology. Global process, theoretical analysis, unit level activity, and then you have the actual field. How do you press this? This now? Yeah. So actual field conditions, and then understanding of the water resources sustainability at the unit level. Look at, as an expert, what we do. Water resource sustainability, supply reliability, I would say wastewater compliance, which is treated effluent, how do we use that, and supply economics, which is about water supply costs, treatment costs, policy, water efficiency, and most important, the local and social part, which I have been there for the last 6 years and trying to work on a framework also. Of course, a lot of these maps have been shown, so I would not, but how do we use that? And how do we say that 2025, 2050, and 2095, if these are the conditions, then how this data, how we will analyze it, how we will respond to it, I think that's very critical. So we identify issues, form a management plan, and that's about an expert of an ambassador. So I have a gentleman here whom we tied up with and did a water body just around Bangalore, Nalligooda, and many others which we have done. So we do watershed level exercises, we identify vulnerabilities, and we also look at outcome of source water vulnerability, SVAs, sorry. Okay, and from this comes a common project, and these projects are about groundwater-based plants, surface water-based plants, and at the community level, what do we do? How do we look at their replenishment and provision of water availability? Because at the end of the day, many communities are deprived of water. So if you have the source of water, I'll give you one example. We had a bottling plant in Gujarat, and that plant needed more water. Now, we made sure that the pipeline which we built, that pipeline helps from that lake to all the villages on the way, they get enough water. And we put water filters for drinking water for the communities over there. And that's what we call, something which happened in the space of public-private partnership. Let's look at water stewardship as a part of a long-term sustainable strategy. In 2007, if I had to make 1 liter of beverage, the total water used for a liter was 3.89. When you look in, just in 6 years, I have brought it down to 2.15. And that's been a tremendous achievement. I'm just talking about India. And we will take it by 2020 to 1.87. So that's the kind of role which we are doing on the water efficiency. So these are some of the interventions which are there on water usage reduction and water replenishment. I would just like to add that on water usage, backwash recovery, decausticizers, CIP RINs, extended runs, bottle washer. This is a pie diagram which shows bring back the water reuse of water. On the other side, which is the water replenishment, which the contributors were, what we did was you can't replenish all the water just in your bottling plant, but you have to do it in communities around. There are so many ways of doing laser leveling in the fields. Rooftop harvesting, recharging of ponds, which I mentioned, recharging of shafts, check dams, drip irrigation, and protected water supply. And those are the pie diagrams which are there, which gives you a... So last year we exited at 118% of the water which we replenished. And this is something, just examples on rooftop recharge, which is done here in Jaipur. This is in Khurda, which is a recharge pond, a check dam. This is a laser leveling, which is in progress in Punjab. And this is a drip irrigation. I must say the drip irrigation model in Rajasthan, I started with 27 farmers. Today, it has gone to 630 farmers, and they're using in 3 crop rotations. And that's the kind of, and I've not invested all the money. I've only put in 35% money. I've used Krishi Vigyan Kendra's 50% money, and the farmer has put in 15% money. So, and that's a true public-private partnership. This is a project that is very close to my heart. We call it Rainmaker, but it's called the Water for Future. And this is something which what we did was, as a process, we put in a pilot plant in one of our bottling plants, and we spent about more than $4 million. We are making all the wastewater and trying to use it back into the system. And this is just an example of that. I don't want to go into the details, but this is something, but I would just like to come to the benefits. Supposing, 5 minutes are left. So, thank you, sir. I'll be in time. If you look at the current status, supposing this is, say, 2010, and when, if I had not put this rainmaker facility, and I had doubled my capacity, what would have been the production volume? What would have been the water usage? What would have been the industrial waste, which is treated effluent? What would have been the industrial wastewater permit? And what would have been the water usage ratio? Now, water usage ratio has been brought down from 2 to 1.45. And by the way, most of the industries nowadays, they don't get permission to release the treated effluent. So with the result, you have to create a pond of a treated effluent, or charge the ground, etc. So these are some of the interesting things which help by reducing the target from 1.65 to 1.4. What we have been able to achieve is that we have been able to reuse multiple approach. And the Golden Triangle approach is all about the business, the civil society, and the government working together. One example about that, my friend is here who has done the Nalligoda Lake, sir. Thank you. And that is one example of the, how we use the Golden Triangle over there. Of course, during the Q&A we can talk about that. But what I would like to also state is, it's not here. We have used UN bodies like UN Habitat, UNDP, and we have done these projects now, with a journey which started in India in about 10 countries around the globe. Well, and the most important part is that our chairman, whose philosophy, who's a value creator, says the most essential shared norm for a new reality is the critical need for business, government, and civil society, what I call the Golden Triangle, to come together to solve the world's most pressing challenges. So, a little part we have taken from that and started working in that direction. Hopefully, we shall be called the shaping of climate ambassadors. We will work towards that, and together we will help transform the company into leader of carbon performance, creating more value for customers, our shareholders, our communities, our employees, our suppliers, and our bottom line. Thank you.